Welcome back, everyone. This will be a review of 10.11.2 compared to the new version of the software, which is expected out this week. So the question we're trying to answer here is my Tesla trying to kill me? So I'll show some fails and some things that went well in the software currently, and we'll hope that the new version will improve some of those items. First, we'll start off with some pretty interesting and poor intersection behavior that I was quite surprised at. I've seen the car make a number of moves through very late orange and red lights even. Here's one example where I had to intervene. So what you just saw there is the car not stopping when the light was clearly red enough that it should have stopped. Here's another example, light turns orange, continues on, and I had to slam on the brakes. So stuff like that I'm really surprised at that it still happens in this version, considering how long this has been tested in the US. This example, the car changes its mind. It's got straight through navigation, it knows the lane it wants to go in, and all of a sudden it swerves to the right, decides to turn into that shopping mall there. This has happened a fair amount. I have no idea why it happens. Here's another example. The navigation is straight across the road. You can see the tentacle line is going left, right, and straight, and then when it goes, it decides to turn right all of a sudden. Very strange. I'm not really sure what's happening there. With this one, it's again veering unexpectedly, unpredictably. It gets in the left turn lane and veers back out without signaling or anything like that, and then gets back in it here. Very strange, very disconcerting when you're in the vehicle. This one's a left turn showing a pretty good job of navigating and dealing with that vehicle. And then also the bright sun doesn't seem to affect it here. There's a backhoe parked in the middle of the road here. It very smoothly moves over to the left and makes its way around those cones to navigate around that vehicle. Here we have a pretty confusing intersection. Car's trying to go straight through to the other side, slightly to the left there. It pauses for a second, but does figure it out, and you can see that it's properly mapped as a five-way intersection there. So that type of stuff is fairly impressive, along with the type of narrow road navigation that we see here. Here we have a left turn onto this road. You can see it picking up that car in blue, and a nice smooth left turn. So there's an example of something it does well, although I've seen that type of thing fail as well for some reason. I'm not quite sure what the difference is. Here's smoothly moving away and giving that cyclist lots of room, moving across the yellow line. I was pretty impressed with that. I've seen that quite a bit. In general, handling pedestrians and cyclists is quite strong. Here we have the video clip I showed before, making a left turn on this road. There's a big dump truck coming. It pauses, looks, and then decides to pull out in front of it. I had to stop it. There's the dump truck going by. So that type of thing. Sometimes the left turns are quite smooth, and sometimes they fail quite miserably. Here's another example of the undecided navigation. It clearly has navigation to the left, but the last second it decides to turn right, and very unexpected when you're expecting one thing and it does the complete opposite, despite the navigation showing one thing. This is a whole section on roundabouts. Roundabouts in general have been, I would say, maybe 75% successful. There, just tried to change lanes. So it does make it through the roundabouts. These are the fairly complicated sets of roundabouts at the airport in Victoria here. but it does do some strange things like change lanes in the middle of the roundabout. These are double lane roundabouts, so it is allowed to do that. It's just not really signaling properly, so I think it's just imagining that it can take the whole lane. It would be really interesting to try what it would do with more traffic. I'm assuming if traffic was in the roundabout, it would pick up on that traffic and not randomly merge into adjacent lanes. Here are a few more examples of roundabouts. This is a slight rain. It does handle a little bit of rain, but only about as much as you see here. Any more and it'll stop. Here the car delayed for so long that the person was letting me into the roundabout, so I had to take over and get it to proceed. Seen that quite a bit, where the delays in making decisions really cause some concern for other road users. Here it decided to basically stop right in the middle of the roundabout. Again, nothing necessarily unsafe, just very questionable for other users on the road. Another example of a roundabout here, it did pick up on the truck on the right and slowed down for that person, and in this case navigated it successfully. I guess I'll change my estimate, probably about 50% success rate on the roundabouts. We'll see how that improves in future versions. One last one, again, just before the roundabout, it decides to change lanes again. Navigated that one reasonably well. And I believe this one it does okay in as well, mostly because it just has one lane to choose from there and kind of goes straight out the other side. So that's roundabouts for now. This next section is completely missing navigation. It was supposed to turn left at that left turn lane. It for some reason merged to the right lane, then merged back to the left, and by the time it merged back it had missed its turnoff. I've seen that a number of times as well. I don't really know what's causing that. It's very clear what the navigation is saying, but sometimes it decides not to follow it. Here we have some tricky bike lanes with bollards and some type of curbs in the middle of the road. It did manage to get around that fairly smoothly. It did make another right turn here across the bike lane. I did not have a bike there at the time, but I think it would have handled that okay, if there was. Here's an example of downtown Victoria, BC with lots of pedestrians. Like I said before, it handles pedestrians and cyclists quite well. It really, I think they've put a lot of effort to really make sure they respect what they call vulnerable road users, cyclists and pedestrians, and they're very careful around them. Here we have small roads. I blew right through a stop sign there. I think it's thought that the stop line were those other lines on the other road. And small roads, as we've seen a number of times, it does not handle well. It stays in the middle of the road. And in this case, it took me right towards some rocks a number of times. A tree, heading right for that tree, I had to intervene. So obviously the attention has been paid to downtown, larger, well-marked roads and these small, tiny roads that are almost one lane, even though there is 2 lanes. They really don't handle very well yet. So in summary, is my Tesla trying to kill me? I believe in this case, with this software version, it is. So stay tuned. Please like and subscribe to the channel. And hopefully we'll have a follow-up video this week when the new software version comes out to see what's changed. Thanks for watching.